Does saying no make you feel empowered, make you feel liberated? Or does the thought of saying no make you feel scared or uncomfortable? What if I told you that saying no opens doors, creates new opportunities? Saying no is a skill. And because of that, saying no may be difficult to do when you first start. Fortunately, anyone can learn to say no. In the first half of this episode, I'm going to show you 3 ways that saying no can make you more successful. Hi, I'm Cameron Schultz. In my last video, which I'll link in the description, I mentioned that you cannot win all the time. You cannot be great all the time. It's better to be consistent. Be great at being consistent. So how does this relate to no? Well, saying no can help focus your time and energy, which in turn can free you up to be more consistent with the important parts of your life. For as long as I can remember, I've been fairly good at saying no. I landed my first real job when I was fresh out of college with a bachelor's degree. I was 23 years old. I worked as a licensed stockbroker, buying and selling securities, stocks, bonds, options. If you've ever seen the movies Glengarry Glen Ross or Wall Street, my life as a registered representative was similar at times. High stress, full commission, eat what you kill. The office could get very hectic sometimes, especially when the market was volatile. And on these days, my boss would come around to each of our desks and ask each broker to work overtime, work more time. It was expected. I almost always declined. I said no. Long story short, I did that for a few years, and then my interest turned to technology and computing. I decided to make a career change and pursue a goal of becoming a software developer. So I tendered my resignation to my boss. I remember that he called me into his office. And do you know what he did? Did he mention all the times that I had said no to working more? He did not. Quite the opposite. He said that he considered me a key member of his team. And he actually, and I'll quote him, he said, "What if I make you a manager? If I make you a manager, will you stay?" Well, I said no to that offer too. What made it so easy for me to say no? Well, honestly, part of it was probably my youthful idealism. But I'd also picked up some interpersonal skills from my brokerage sales training and from interacting with clients. I picked up a few tips that made it easier to say no. I said no to the management position because I knew that it would get in the way of my goal to become a software developer. And being a developer was a goal that I was enthusiastic about, I was motivated to achieve. It was a career that I knew would allow me to be more content in the long run. And that brings me to the first way that saying no will make you more successful. You want to say no to mismatched commitments. Committing to a brokerage management training program did not match up with my goal of becoming a software developer. We've all heard the sayings, "Don't be a quitter," or "Winners never quit and quitters never win." In our society, to not be a quitter is something to be proud of. Well, here's a little secret. Even highly successful people quit. The comedian Dave Chappelle walked away from a multi-million-dollar contract, quit at the top of his game. Speaking of games, the basketball player Michael Jordan quit when he was still a fantastic player. Even King Edward VIII quit, abdicated the throne to be with the woman that he loved. Winners quit all the time. They just quit stuff for the right reasons, stuff that doesn't fit into their vision of life. Say no to commitments that don't allow you to focus on your main objective. The way you gain more focus is by quitting things that aren't your main focus. Doing so will free up resources so that you can make more progress more quickly, so that you can more easily move past hurdles and roadblocks. Success does not come from sticking with something. Success comes from choosing the right thing to stick with and quitting the other stuff. You have certain resources that belong only to you. Resources that cannot be outsourced. I'm talking about your attention, your enthusiasm, and your motivation. If you get some amazing offer, but it conflicts with a main objective, then you will say no to it because you know it will rob you of your attention, enthusiasm, and motivation. It will rob you of your focus. The second way that saying no will make you more successful is to say no to spreading yourself too thinly. Social norms train us to believe that saying no is impolite or inconsiderate. But if you never say no, then you'll eventually spread yourself too thinly. If you're a jack of all trades, you're a master of none. To be really great at one thing, you must say no to other things, whether those things be ideas, opportunities, jobs. And this also applies to people. You don't have to be great for everyone. Instead, think about quality over quantity. We've all had relationships in which our needs were not being met. This could be other family members, friends, coworkers. It's okay to give those relationships less of your time and give more of your time to your most important relationships. Once upon a time, I had my own computer consulting business. I did everything from building computers to designing websites to writing custom software. And it was quite common for people to ask me for help with something computer related or to propose some type of project to me. Perhaps because it was my first business, I felt obligated to accept all work, all projects, large and small. And that led to a situation where I was always working, and many of the projects I was taking on were not interesting to me. At the same time, I had a dream of building an online music business. Well, I started saying no to some of these new projects, and that freed up my time to focus on starting my music business. And I became more energized and enthusiastic about my music business. And this even had the effect of bringing new people into my sphere of influence. I met bands and musicians who had been my teenage idols, and when I opened my music store, I made new customers, and some of those became friends that I still know to this day. So leave yourself open to new opportunities by not spreading yourself too thinly. The third way that saying no will make you more successful is to say no to get-rich-quick schemes. Get-rich-quick schemes come in all shapes and sizes, but they have one thing in common: a big upside and a big downside. The big upside is dangled in front of us, it's often tantalizing, and the big downside is often underplayed. The outcome is usually going to be the big downside. Avoid the temptation. The downside of a quick fix can leave you in a hole, financially, emotionally, physically. The losses you incur, the loss in time or money, injuries, will set you back. And more importantly, a quick fix that fails will steal your focus. Have you ever seen the commercials for weight loss supplements or eating plans? They show testimonials from people who have lost X number of pounds after taking some supplement or buying some prepackaged meals. The big upside is a person spends money on these products and loses a bunch of weight and keeps it off. The big downside is that a person spends too much money on these products, doesn't lose any significant weight, gains back the lost weight, yo-yo diets, which is bad for your heart, or develops disordered eating patterns. What would be a more holistic way to achieve a healthy body and save money? Buy and prepare fresh foods. Eat at least 3 servings of vegetables per day. Exercise 30 minutes a day. Go for a walk or a bike ride. These are not quick fixes, but they can be practiced consistently over time for greater success. Let someone else chase the mirage. You say no to quick fixes. Slow and steady wins the race. Okay, so we've just learned how saying no can make you more successful, but you may find it difficult to say. So now I'll share some tips that'll make it easier for you to say no. And the first tip is that rejection is your friend. When I was a full service broker, prospects, that is prospective clients, said no to me all the time, dozens of times each day. I noticed that when delivering my sales pitches, some prospects would talk with me for minutes on end before hanging up or mumbling that they weren't interested, while others would turn me down very quickly. Those who couldn't bring themselves to say no to me had low self-esteem, and more importantly, they did not value their own time. The folks who shut me down quickly had higher self-confidence, higher self-esteem. They valued their time. They didn't care what I thought about them. They knew that audiences are small and often forgetful. And you know what? I appreciated these prospects. Why? Because they didn't waste their time or mine. The sooner that I was rejected, the sooner I could be finding the next client who did want to invest with me. So embrace rejection. Look on the positive side. Don't fear rejection. If it hurts to say no or hear no, it only hurts a little and only for a short amount of time. And a no lets you get on with your life. Let me say that once more. A no lets you get on with your life. It provides closure. And each subsequent rejection will hurt less, if at all. Regardless of which side of the no that you're on, rejection is your friend. The second tip to make it easier to say no is to use what I call the sandwich method. Say the no between two positives. So say something positive to the recipient, and then say no, and then follow with another positive. For example, thank you for the invitation. That was so thoughtful of you to include me. Unfortunately, I won't be able to attend. I would still like to catch up with you sometime soon. I'll check my calendar and let you know when I'm available. By giving alternatives that work better for you, you're putting your needs first. This can be empowering. The third tip to make it easier to say no is to write it down. Do you keep a calendar or daily task list? Write the word no at the top of each day. Or if you work in front of a computer, write the word no on a post-it note and put it on your monitor. If you drive a lot, put the word no on your dashboard. Wherever you spend your day, write the word no so that it's readily visible. Seeing the word no as you go about your daily business will help you remember to say it. And the fourth tip to make it easier to say no is to know your value. This is very important. You are in control of what you think about yourself. Make your own opinion of yourself. Don't give that control to other people. This is an internal value, a healthy value. If you depend on other people's opinion of you, then you're giving up your control. You're saying that other people's opinion of you are more important than your own opinion of yourself. That is external approval, an unhealthy value. If it's difficult to form a positive opinion of yourself, it will become easier with practice, consistency, and patience. It's okay to be imperfect. Everyone makes mistakes. We've all done things that we've regretted. We are all human. No one is perfect. Having a lot of money or fame, subscribers, having a high status career, a nice body, doesn't make you great. Those are external values. On the other hand, being human, being willing to grow and learn from your mistakes, loving others, having some humility, these are what make you great. These values come from within. All right, I've shown you that if you want to have more success, say no. Say no to commitments that don't match your goal or vision. Say no to spreading yourself too thinly. Say no to quick fixes. If something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And I hope that the tips I've shared will make it easier for you to say no next time. Remember that rejection is your friend, no matter which side of the no that you're on. It gives you closure. And use the sandwich method to put a no between two positives. This makes it easier to deliver a no and to receive a no. Write down the word no wherever you'll see it easily during the day. And know your value. Get your values internally, not externally. Saying no is a human liberty. You have the right to say no. Each time that you say no, you open yourself up to say yes to something else or someone else. Say no to free yourself up to focus on things or people that are important to you. Live your life for you, not for other people. All right, if you found any of this interesting or helpful, I would really appreciate a like, a thumbs up. If you have any questions or thoughts, please leave a comment below and I'll be happy to respond. Thank you for watching.